Many people confuse impact funds with Article 9 funds when in fact they are not at all the same thing. Let me give you the differences. First, an Article 9 fund is regulated, whereas an impact fund is not regulated. The impact funds, it corresponds to an investment philosophy. It is a market practice. The second difference is that an Article 9 fund pursues a sustainable investment objective that is listed in the SFDR perimeter, so defined by the SFDR regulation. It cannot pursue the sustainable investment objective it wants. For example, if you want to create an Article 9 fund whose sustainable investment objective is to increase animal welfare, it is not possible because it is not in the list of the sustainable investment objectives which are defined by the SFDR. Conversely, when you manage an impact fund, you can set any sustainable investment objective that you like, such as animal welfare, for instance. The third difference is that impact funds are not regulated, but France Invest has defined 3 criteria that must be followed. The 3 criteria are the intentionality, the additionality, and the measurability. An Article 9 fund does not need to meet these 3 criteria. Intentionality, it means that the companies in which the impact fund invests have a real intention to have an impact. It has to be part of their business model. For example, it could be an investment in a company that decontaminate. Second criteria, the additionality. The company must provide a response to an issue that has not yet been resolved. Moreover, the impact fund must help the company achieve this objective. Let's take an example. Let's imagine 2 funds whose sustainable investment objective is, for instance, to decarbonate the economy. The impact fund should invest in companies whose business model is to solve the problem of greenhouse gas emissions in order to decarbonize the economy. The Article 9 fund, on the other hand, will be able to invest in any company as long as that company aims as an objective to reduce its greenhouse gas emissions in order to decarbonize the economy. And that is not exactly the same thing as having a business model that aims to provide a solution for decarbonizing the economy. Can you see the difference? Now, a quick question for you. Is it possible to be an impact fund without being an Article 9 fund? Yes, an impact fund is not necessarily an Article 9 fund simply because the management company that manages the impact fund has not necessarily implemented all of the processes and policies that are required by the SFDR in order to be qualified as an Article 9 fund. Another reason is that maybe the impact fund has a sustainable investment objective that does not fall within the regulatory perimeter defined by the SFDR. I have a second question for you. Can a fund be Article 9 fund without being an impact fund? Well, yes, because if the Article 9 fund invests in different companies that don't respect the principles of additionality, measurability, and intentionality, then the fund won't be qualified as an impact fund. But let me reassure you, an Article 9 fund can, of course, be an impact fund. And for those of you who are wondering what an Article 9 fund and an impact fund have in common, of course they do. And there are 2 main commonalities. The first one is that both Article 9 funds and impact funds seek to have a positive impact on the world. And these 2 funds must also measure their contribution to achieving this impact or sustainable investment objective. Then if you still have questions about Article 9 funds, impact funds, SFDR, sustainable investment, biodiversity, etc., please feel free to visit our YouTube channel, which is called Moonshot Finance and Biodiversity. And if you need advice on how to structure an impact fund or an Article 9 fund, you can give us a call because we work with financial institutions on these specific subjects. See you soon!